It's time for Money Matters. Joining me today is Rob DeLessio with Strategic Wealth Designers to kind of talk about getting back in the swing of things. So we know that a lot of states right now are starting to reopen their economies. What does that mean for individuals, maybe going back to work or just adjusting to life after lockdown?
Well, I think, things moving forward are going to be different. None of us have ever lived through an experience like this before. I think there'll be a lot more caution moving forward. But I do think the nation's starting to split a little bit. I do think some people are ready to get back to work while others are ready, they're content in staying home.
Right. It has its perks, certainly. Is there anything that you've noticed about Kentuckians specifically and how they're handling this pandemic versus other states? Because I know you work with people across the country.
Most of our clients, they really do want to stay home. They want to either Zoom conference or do conference calls, while our Ohio and Indiana offices, people are willing to come in. We have people in those offices right now. And then again, in our Colorado offices, much like Kentucky, they're more apt to stay home and keep themselves social distanced, if you would.
And moving forward, what are some areas that you think are going to be permanently changed as far as hygiene, buying habits, things like that?
Well, I definitely think that masks are going to be in our future for a long, long time, along with gloves, of course, hand sanitizer and different things like that. As far as moving forward, I have an affinity to restaurants and things like that. So that's a concern of mine, that I think the face of the restaurant industry, especially here in Kentucky, we have a tremendous hospitality industry. I think the face of that's going to be changed, for a long, long time moving forward.
Any advice as far as, rebounding from all of this for those small businesses like local restaurants?
Well, coming out of this, I think people will understand or at least know how well they were suited to handle it. And I think that the number one thing most people should do is prepare themselves for something in the future. We've talked about for years, that you need to have somewhere between 6 and 12 month reserves. And, that gets talked about, but I think that'll be a really big focus moving forward.
To learn more ways to make your money matter, visit WKYT.com. And if you have something you'd like us to discuss, send an email to news@WKYT.com and we'll talk about it here. For WKYT, I'm Andrea Walker.